Hi everybody, and welcome to the behind the scenes video for Good vs. Evil. I haven't named the video yet on YouTube, it's not uploaded, but I'm assuming that's what I'll probably call it. So, I thought I would do a video going a little bit more in depth on how I do the individual visual effects for certain videos because I don't do visual effects often. I talked a little bit about the visual effects stuff in the behind the scenes video for the best social networking site, but I didn't really go into After Effects to actually show how I really do it. It's not hard or anything, but some people might be curious, so I thought I would show you. So right now I'm opened up in Adobe After Effects. So right now I imported one of the shoulder shots and the devil thing, so I just put that in there as a new composition in the composition. I can't speak right now, I'm really sorry. So this is the basic shot of me sniffing there and looking over. So I usually just about trim it to where I need to actually look, and then I just go back to where I am. So this is where I would be looking, and then on top of here I put in the shot of me as the devil. So I'm going to take part of the lines where I'm talking. So right about here, I'm probably saying "do it" or something, just based on the motion. That's what I'm assuming I'm saying, or something like that. Which is weird because that's not what line comes next. But oh well. So I go in and I match up these. So now what I do with this clip on top of this clip, and you can see that this clip is the green screen clip, and the clip underneath right here is this base clip. So this is just the hiding and unhiding thing. So what I do here on the green screen clip is I take my pen tool right up here and I just start making a mask. And what this does, this is like scissors on a piece of paper, and it's like cutting a hole in a piece of paper. I use pieces of paper to really demonstrate and to kind of give analogies onto how video works. So there, I basically took my scissors in a way and I cut through this piece of paper and I made this really crappy looking mask thing. And so usually what I would do is I'd scrub through a little bit and just see if I ever leave the mask. And right up here it looks like, if I zoom in a bit, right up there it looks like my head gets cut off just a little bit. But right now, for this purpose, it's not that important because I'm just showing what I usually do to do this. My hair looks weird. So from here I take this clip and I do all this magical stuff with green screen. Some people are very familiar with green screen. That's the layer. So I'm going to put the effect of key light on it. Here's my effects panel, and this is key light. So key light is a really typical green screening thing in After Effects. When I do this, I look at this and I go, it looks pretty good, but right down here, that's my hair, looks beautiful. Right here, you can see some black where the green isn't actually getting keyed out. So I manually adjust the color a little bit to try to take out that black a little bit. And then when I have to, I also turn up the screen gain a little bit. See it between my legs, it fixes it up a bit. So I turn up the screen gain just a little bit, and that usually does a pretty good job at really getting rid of all that little black stuff. Now what I do after doing key light is I throw on a refine matte onto the clip. Now this is something really awesome that I learned from some guys on YouTube. You can see, not here, that's my hair. You can see right, I'm going to pick a different spot because that's a weird spot. So you can see right here on my elbow, the edge is really weird. So when I put the refine matte on, you can see that the edge gets really cleaned up, and that basically refines it. And I can always turn up the smoothing a bit, and once it loads, it even smooths it up a bit more. That's taking it off, putting it back on. It looks beautiful. So that's awesome. I really should have shaved before I did this video. Anyway, so that cleans up the edges, so it makes the green screen look a lot better. So now all I have to do, for the most part, is put myself on my shoulder. So I turned the scale down to about 20%. Actually, no, I didn't. That was for the full shot, my bad. I took the scale to about 50. I'll put 51. YOLO, I'm going to put 51 instead of 50. And then typically I would just put myself right on my shoulder, like that, somewhat. About there is a pretty good spot. That's kind of how I did it. And this is cool and all, but you can see that when I move, I don't move with myself. Actually, I'll see if I can do a quick RAM preview. So this is basically, you can see how I'm scrubbing through, and as my shoulder moves, I don't move with my shoulder, and that doesn't make it look as realistic. So that kind of sucks. The other thing that doesn't make it look that realistic is the fact that I don't really look like I'm standing there. Like I kind of do, but usually what would make it more realistic is adding like a shadow for the character. So what I do here is I make a new solid, and I make it black, because shadows are usually black. So I made this beautiful black solid. So I'm going to hide that right now, and I click on it, and I'm going to go to the masking tool, and I'm actually going to make kind of like a circle thing, something like that. So when I bring it back in, it's a beautiful crappy black circle. So then what I do is I take the black solid and I actually put it below the clip so that it looks like I'm standing on the black circle. Then I go into the mask controls and I do mask feather right here, and this will make it blur out a bit. So I do that, and that looks pretty good. And then I just turn the mask opacity down a bit to maybe there. I don't remember what my exact values were for my video, but it usually looks something like that, and that gives it more of a shadow. Then what I do here is really important. This is the most important thing probably when I do these kinds of videos, is I take the black solid and I go over here to parent. I parent it to the clip above it, which is my clip. What this does is when I move this clip, the solid will move with it. The shadow moves with my clip. I can take the solid and I can move the solid away. And when I move this back around, it still moves the same way with it because it's parented to it. Otherwise, when it's not parented, this will move and nothing will happen. So that's what I usually do, is I like to make sure it's parented with it. Next, I do the most fun part of this entire video, which was the most tedious, but it was very necessary. I've got a motion track. In order to get my guy to stick to my shoulder in this spot, I have to do some motion tracking. It's not fun, but it's kind of got to be done. So over here, I opened up this video clip in this layer, and I have it here. I zoomed in far so I can see some of this stuff. Okay. So then what I do is I click over here in this tracker tool, and I click track motion, and it makes this beautiful tracking point. The hard part of this is finding a point that you can track, and that's really the hard part. So right now I'm looking for a spot where it maybe gets like just a bit darker, maybe about, looks like there's some darkness right here. Let me see if this even works. It's what I ended up doing for this video is sometimes it wouldn't work, so I would have to go back through and find a different point to track. Maybe even like this dark spot right here might look good. So I go over to this dark spot and I click Analyze Forward, and I just kind of watch it as it does it. And it's going through the clip, and the point is trying to track with the point that I've selected. So for the most part, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. And this clip, I don't think I'm moving that much, so it wasn't as bad. Some of the clips I was moving a lot, and it made it much more difficult to track. But I'm going to stop it right there. Usually I would do like almost the entire clip. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a null object. What this is a square. It creates a beautiful square. What I'm going to do in my layer over here with this is I'm going to take the, and I'm going to edit the target, and I want the, this is really hard to explain, so give me a second. So I made the target the null object. What this is going to do is it's going to take these points and it's going to apply it to this null object, and you'll see in a minute, once I click apply, it's applied to the null object. So now right where that tracking point is, my null object is stuck there, and as I kind of go through a bit, the null object sticks right with my shoulder, right where I was tracking, which is exactly what I want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the null object so that you don't see it or anything. And I'm going to take number 13, my clip, and I'm going to parent it to the null object. Now what this does, and as I mentioned before with the parenting, is whenever the null object moves, this will move the way the null object is moving. So as I kind of scrub through a bit, my guy is moving right with my shoulder. I'll go through, do a quick RAM preview to kind of show how that looks generally. Okay, play this. So as it plays through, it just constantly will repeat forever and ever and ever until I stop it. But basically, when I scrub through, I'm sticking with my shoulder because of the motion track. And so that's typically how I do that. So that's how I did all the visual effects pretty much for this video. It wasn't a lot, but it just took a long time. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I know I haven't uploaded a video on this channel in a while, but don't forget this channel still exists. So if you are subscribed to my main channel, The Real Nick Boyer, be sure to subscribe to this channel too, The Real Nick Boyer 2, where I will upload behind the scenes stuff like this sometimes, or eventually maybe I'll vlog. I don't think people care to learn about my life, but maybe I'll get to that point at some point. So thanks for watching. Yeah.